Okay, CSS means cascading style sheets. Cascading style sheets. And why CSS? CSS for giving styles, decorations for HTML. Okay, and the types of CSS. Types of CSS. There are multiple ways of CSS we can provide for the HTML. The one is inline CSS, and the one is internal CSS, and the one is external CSS. External CSS. The one is inline CSS, one is internal CSS, one is external CSS. Now let me go for the inline CSS. How inline CSS will be? Inline CSS is element specific CSS. Element specific CSS. Element by element, we need to write CSS. For example, this is the element. For this element, I just want to add a style attribute. To the style attribute, we need to write a CSS code. And this is what actually element specific CSS. And you will close the element over there. The next one is internal CSS. Internal CSS. Internal CSS is nothing but page specific CSS. Page specific CSS. The page specific CSS means the complete page we can write a CSS at the single time. Suppose, for example, style open, style close. And inside this particular style, we are going to be writing the multiple kind of selectors. Number of selectors we can write. Okay, so what is the selector? How to write selector? Selector is going to be having with the open curly braces and closing curly braces. And inside selector, we are providing all CSS attributes. All CSS attributes. Okay, so this is what actually the internal CSS. And there is one more way of CSS is external CSS. For external CSS, we have to create this is actually page specific CSS. Application specific CSS or application level CSS. Single CSS file can able to access. Single CSS file can able to access all HTML pages. All HTML pages. And one more point, this is reusable CSS. Reusable CSS. Okay, should be file.css. It is going to be saving with the file.css. Inside the file.css, we are going to be writing lot of selectors. And finally, to the file.html, we will be having the file1.html. We will be having the file2.html. Number of HTML files I'm going to be creating. File1.html, file2.html, suppose like that. For all these particular HTML files, I want to access the CSS. How to access the CSS? Accessing CSS is very simple. Link href is equal to, I need to give the link href is equal to, I need to access the CSS file. So file.css. And this is the self-closure tag. And each and every file I want to access the same process. File1.html, that is the process. File2.html also same process. File1.html, that is the process, and file2.html also same process. For all the different kind of HTML files, I want to give the CSS reference. This is what actually CSS will be. CSS types will be. The next, we are going to be writing a number of properties. Before writing all the properties, we will see how these examples will do. So this is the CSS nodes. Let me save this. Okay, let me create a new folder. And this is the date 22. and this one is something like a nodes. And let me create a new folder, save it as, this will be inline css, inline css.html. Okay, how to write inline css? Very simple. I'm writing a tag here. I'm writing a tag. This tag is something like a full stack. I'm writing one more tag, h2 also full stack, and render this. We have the h1 and h2 both. My requirement is for h1 I'm writing a separate style attribute, and I'm going to be giving the color red. For h2 also individual style attribute, style color green. See, people get understand. For the h1 I'm giving the separate style, for h2 I'm giving the separate style. If you are having 1000 elements, 1000 times you need to give the style attribute, 1000 times we need to write the css. There is no way. So this is getting headache. A lot of times you are going to be writing the css for each and every element. This is not a right way of writing in css in the real time. But anyway, we have to see the output of this one. Let me go with the output. I click on this, open a default browser. Yes, we will be having the first one red color, second one green color. Each and every element we need to implement css, definitely. This is the way of writing inline css. Next we go for internal css. What about internal css? Is internal css .html. So for internal css, the complete page is going to be having the one-time css. For example, I'll be having lot of h1s. Here. Let me take multiple h1s, and let me take a h2. So 3 h1s and 1 h2 is there. But I'm writing a style sheet now. Style open, style close. And here for all the h1s, I want to provide some color. So this is the process of selectors. This is the concept of selector. So how to write a selector? Selector writing is very simple. Name of the selector, and inside that curly braces, we are going to be writing the CSS attributes. Inside curly braces, we are going to be writing CSS attributes. This is the way of writing selector. Okay, one more selector, h2 selector. H2 having color green, for example. And for example, body is also selector. Body having some background color. Complete body background color. I want to give the something like a caddy blue. Now right click on this and open in the browser, default browser. You will be having now. So the complete background of the body something. So this is irritating. This color is irritating color. Let me take a light color, something like this. So save it and refresh it. Now you will be having some body background color. Body having some background color at the same time. H1, H2, H3. All H1, H3, H2. Sorry, all H1s are actually taking the red color and H2 taking the green color. So this is reusable selector. Whenever I am writing a selector, all the H1s at the same time get selected. Selecting a group of elements. At the same time. So this is very, very important. So better than inline CSS. And this is page specific. Each and every page we need to write the CSS. The next one is external CSS. External CSS will be very simple. We will see that. So for external CSS, first of all, I need to design my HTML content. So this is my HTML content, for example, guys. So okay, let me take the same HTML content. But now CSS will be outside. I want to create a new CSS file. Create a CSS file separately, file.css. And whatever the CSS code you want, you can take this selectors I want to take and put into the file.css. Now file.css file separate, HTML file separate. But I want to access the CSS file into the HTML. How to access that? So accessing that we using with link relevant style sheet, and href is equal to something like a file dot file.css. Just try to access it. Just try to access it. So when you try to access it, automatically CSS will work now. Just open this. Now see, observe this. Observe the internal. Internal, we are writing the style internally in the page. But for the external, we are accessing the style externally from the another page. This is we are accessing. This is we are accessing, right? This is we are accessing from the file.css. File.css is a separate file that we are accessing and linking here. That we are accessing and linking here. Just try to understand. Okay. This is external CSS file. So one more thing we have to see. Let me take you a diagram. How inline CSS, how internal CSS, and how external CSS will be diagrammatically I will show. Then you can able to easily get understand how to work on this one. Okay, for example, this one is inline. This one is internal. And this one is external. Okay, for inline CSS, element by element, we need to add CSS. So this is the element, and this is the element, and this is the element. We have the three elements here. But where is the CSS code? CSS code will be inside here. CSS code will be here. So CSS will be with the style attribute. Style attribute. Style attribute we have to go for. Style attribute we have to go for. Every time we need to give the style attribute. For each and every element, we need to give the style attribute. For each and every element, we need to give the style attribute. Definitely pakka. Style is equal to double quotes. But coming to the internal CSS, concept is different. Internal CSS, we need to write the style tag in the page. Style open, style close. Style open, style close. Style tag we need to write, and write a CSS attributes with selectors. Selectors. Multiple selectors we are going to be placing, but this is inside the page. But coming to the external CSS, your CSS file will be separate. Your CSS file will be separate file. That file we are going to be accessing here. This is a CSS file, and CSS file is separate over there. This is my CSS file. This is my CSS file, and we are going to be accessing the CSS file into the HTML. So how we are accessing? This is the way of accessing. How we are accessing? This is the way of accessing. So we have to link with the link tag. Link relevant is equal to style sheet. Then href. Href is equal to whatever the name of the file, file.css. Okay. This is the way of accessing the external CSS. So we have three types of CSS now. One is the inline, one is the internal, one is the external. Inline, internal, external. That's it. So let me save the diagram for you. Style loading. Okay, so now we have to get understand. Now we have to get understand style preferences. What are the style preferences? How to load style preferences and all. Style preferences. So just understand one thing. Whenever we have three kind of styles in my HTML page, when we have three kind of files, when we have three kind of files in our HTML, page. So first preference is inline. If inline is there, inline will load. And the second one is if inline is not there, then internal and external loading with loading with line by line preference. Line by line preference. So I hope everybody got to understand. If inline is there, inline will load first. Inline is the first preference to the browser. If inline is not there, then it will check with the page level, like line by line execution level. So let me show one program. If inline is there, inline will load first. If inline is not there, then it will go for internal and an external. So this time, if I'm writing styles like this in our page, this is HTML, file.html, for example. In our file.html, inline is there, internal is there, external is there. If inline is there, definitely inline will go for the paragraph. For example, I'm writing a paragraph over there. For this paragraph, I'm writing the style sheet. If inline is there, definitely inline will load first. If inline is not there, for example, then we will check the internal, external. Internal in the 60th line, external in the 61th line. 61th line in the output. Yeah, better. Basically, internal is loading, external is loading. External is overriding with internal. Automatically external is the output for us. So that is we have to remember. But if inline is there, inline is only load. Let me show one program, style preferences and all. New program and take a style preferences. Style preferences.html. So same content I'm taking, HTML content, this one, HTML content. That much lines not required. I'm just taking H1 and H2. Now what I want to do is, inline CSS, internal CSS, external CSS. Okay, first of all, I'm writing a inline CSS. Style is equal to color red. Then I'm writing a style color green. Then I'm trying to writing the internal CSS. How to write internal CSS? Internal will be style open, style close. H1 color orange. For H1 and H2 color orange. H1 comma H2. You can write like this actually. So H1 and H2 I'm giving the color orange. So what is the output now? How many type of styles we are applying? We are applying two type of styles. One is the inline, one is the internal. This is the internal, right? This is the internal style. Basically, we are applying inline and internal. But then what is the output of this page? What is the output of the page? Inline is the output. Red color and green color is coming, but orange color is not coming. Why? Because if inline is there, inline is first preference. For example, I'm removing the inline. Then check the output now. After removing the inline, checking the output, orange color only came. Why? Because if inline is not there, it will go for the internal or external. Yeah, I'm writing external file also. For external file, I want to write a file.css. I'm writing something like H1, H2, H1 comma H2. I want to go with the color blue. Now I'm trying to accessing the file.css here. With the link tag, link relevant style sheet, and href file.css. Now we have internal and external. We don't have inline. This will be external CSS. Now we have internal and external. If you have internal and external, what is the output now? Output is orange or output is blue. So here this is blue. So what is the output now? The output will be blue. Why? Because last line first execute in the browser. Last line first execute in the browser. Obviously blue came. Obviously blue came. Why? Because last line first execute in the browser. For example, I am putting the external CSS before the internal CSS. I am putting the external CSS before the internal CSS. Then what is the output now? Output is orange. Why? Because first blue loading, this will load first. This time this will load first. This will load first. And this will load second. Obviously, I'm telling line by line execution. This will load second. This will load first, this will load second. And one more point you have to remember, last line CSS file executes first in browser. Executes first in browser. Okay. So this is the way of writing the CSS and the style preferences and all. But if inline is there, inline is the first preference to the browser. If inline is not there, all these things are getting happening. Okay. So remember all these things, guys. We are working with inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. Then we are moving with different kind of CSS attributes. So there are a lot of attributes which are going to be available. We'll write down all the attributes. Then I will go with the program. So the first one is the color attribute, and the second one is a background color attribute, background hyphen color. Then we are going to be working with the font properties, multiple kind of font properties. And we are going to be working with a lot of text properties. This is basically color and background color and font properties, font face, font family. One is a font family, one is a font style, one is a font weight, one is a font size. Yeah. So these are the different kind of font properties. Next, we will be having different kind of text properties. Text align, text decoration, text transform, text indent, line height, word spacing. Okay, so these are the different kind of text properties: text align, text decoration, text transform, and indent, text indent, text line height, word spacing. All these are actually text related properties. Okay, so let me give the values for the each and everything one by one. Whenever I go to the program, first of all, we will go to the colors, then we will go to the font properties, then we will go to the text properties, and after that we will move to the selectors, different kind of selectors. All these are actually topics for the CSS. Selectors we will go, and element selector, one is element selector, one is a class selector. Element selector, class selector, ID selector. Element selector, class selector, ID selector, group selector. And one more is first child selector. Nth child, last child selector. Nth child selector. Nth child selector. And one more is adjacent one sibling selector. Adjacent all sibling selector. All sibling selector. One more is even selector. Odd selector. Universal selector. and attribute selector. So etc. There are multiple other kind of selectors which are going to be available. So we will just look into the all selectors one by one later. So first we go with the colors, then we go with the background colors, then we go with the text properties, font properties, then we go with the selectors, different kind of selectors, and finally end of the day, so we will go with the box model. Coming to the box model which are going to be available with a lot of properties. Box model containing width, height, padding, margin, border, outline, etc. Then we will go to the positions, lot of different kind of positions which are available. Position static, position absolute, and position relative, position fixed, position z index. Then we will apply the CSS on elements. Multiple type of examples we will see. So we will see CSS on elements with the list items, we will see tables, we will see forms, we will see images, we will see, and div, para, headings, we will see, and just we will create a layout, simple layout. So this is the end of the CSS 2.0. These are the different kind of properties we are going to be discussing. At the end of the day, we will go with the simple template of the CSS. So one simple example we will see with HTML and CSS combination. Basically, you people have to understand one thing. You people have to understand one thing. For example, this is your HTML. HTML is just a skeleton. HTML is just a construction. On top of the HTML, we are wrapping with the CSS. On top of the HTML, we are wrapping with the CSS. That's it. We have to understand. CSS is overlapping on top of the HTML. CSS having lot of styles, colors, fonts, font properties, text properties, etc., etc. And on top of the CSS, we will be having the JavaScript, HTML and CSS. So we will be having the JavaScript. JavaScript is going to be a functional part or interactive part for the web page. Functional part or interactive part of the web page. People can able to interact. People can able to click on the button. People can able to search in the search box, and people are going to be communicating with the services. They are communicating with the services. All the things are going to be happening with the JavaScript. And one more thing is, on top of this, we will be having jQuery, Bootstrap, React.js. On top of this, we will be having some other things like jQuery, and React, Bootstrap. So why I'm telling all these things, we are going to be learning all the things step by step. First, we are learning HTML. We are already done with HTML, and then we are moving now CSS, and CSS will complete in 2 to 3 days. Then after that, we are moving to the JavaScript. JavaScript is a bit lengthy. We have to learn a lot of concepts in the JavaScript. Then we will move to the jQuery, Bootstrap, React. Then finally, we communicate with the services, Node.js, Express.js, MongoDB database. And database is crucial here. And database is using for storing the data, reading the data, updating the data, deleting the data. CRUD operations. Database and client page communicating with the communicator. That communicator is a server. We are using a Node.js server, but in real time, people are using a lot of services like Java, PHP, .NET, Python, Django, Python Flask, etc. So this is the architecture of the total working with. And the next class, we will go through all these particular properties. We will go through multiple things like colors, background colors. So in CSS, color attributes. First, we will go with the color. Then we will go with the font. Then we will go with the text. Then we will go with the selectors. And then we'll go with the box model. Then we'll go with the positions. Next 2 to 3 days, we'll go for CSS, and immediately I'll start the JavaScript. Just follow the coding, follow the programs, and do the practice done programs by end of the tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow morning again we will connect. Same time, 6 o'clock. And when I come to the JavaScript, we'll improve the timing and all. For CSS, you do the practice like this. Okay. Is it fine, everyone? I'm just stopping the session.